Good day everyone, so when you think of Genshin's endgame combat systems, what do you think of? Well, hopefully nothing, because there is, for all intents and purposes, really nothing. Now, this is what I want to discuss in today's video, so here's the problem. When I play Genshin Impact, I have to level up all these characters, get good artifacts, I have to build, materials, you know kind of how it goes. And what do I have to show for all of this? Well, kind of not really much. Currently, we only have the Spiral Abyss, which is the exact same content that we're going to have to play for 6 weeks before it finally gets an update, in contrast to something like Honkai Impact the Third, which gives us the Super String Dimension every 3 days, every week the Memorial Arena, as well as the Elysian Realm getting some updates. So this is really where I think Genshin could start improving. Now, how are we going to improve? Well, that's exactly why you're seeing this background footage here, because if I don't give a practical example, then people won't be able to see really how much better things can be. So immediately you'll notice we have a little score there on the top left hand corner. We've got the timer here and we've got stage effects. So clearly we're being incentivized to play with a certain subset of characters, and obviously in this event there are a couple of different stage effects which will favor certain characters over others, which means you are encouraged to build a variety of different characters and then use these characters to try and get a score. Now, the actual value of the score doesn't matter so much as you seeing what the value is and trying to improve on it. Are you going to improve your score by 5%, by 10%? What happens if I use this artifact or I play in this different way? There's a lot more to this game mode that I find completely much more fun than just the Spiral Abyss, just because it is more dynamic. Now, obviously, a game mode like this is not perfect. If you paired this with something like the Mystic Dungeon or the Omni Chamber event that we had way back when in Inazuma, then I think you can really have the makings of something which is like the Simulated Universe or the Elysian Realm, but just here in Genshin Impact, and it would just give us more reasons to play the endgame modes. Now, a lot of people might say, but I just want to play TCG, I don't care about combat, and I think this is where Genshin should really just overhaul its endgame loop. Tell people, hey, every 2 weeks you've got a quota of 1,000 Primogems. You can play Spiral Abyss, you can play this roguelike event or this scoring based event, you can play TCG or you can play Fungi, you can play whatever you want. Each of the events contributes up to the Primogems, so if you only do Spiral Abyss, you can get the 1,000. If you only do TCG, you can get the 1,000, or if you just want to play a bit of this, a bit of that, you can still get your 2 weekly quota of, let's say, 1,000 Primogems, or however, whatever the right number should be. I'm just making up a number, but you get the point. Something that encourages you to engage with the different systems in a bit of a clever way is something that we desperately need in this game. And as you can see here in the background, the reason I love an event like this is because it does not just mean that I have to beat the same enemy within a small time frame, it means that I have to constantly think about rotations. Theory crafters always talk about rotations, but here you've got a good example of very long extended loops and rotations, and how you have to adjust them for the fact that the enemy goes to the back and he then comes in, this guy's going to hit you, this guy's going to stay away. So it's far more dynamic than just the Spiral Abyss. And the Spiral Abyss, if I build, let's say, my Nouvelle Farina team and the enemy has 1,000,000 health, and I built my Xingshu Bennett Xiangling, which I have to mention because everyone obviously only plays that, and they also beat the enemy with 1,000,000 health, then the problem that you obviously see is that if I beat it with both teams in 20 seconds, I haven't really meaningfully distinguished between the two teams, because the game itself doesn't reward that. The game only cares about, oh, did you beat the floor? And the game even doesn't care about how fast you beat it. It's just like, did you beat it within the full allotted 3 minutes? Oh, okay, you did. Here's your Primogems, and nothing else matter. The concept of meta itself is even ridiculous because there's nothing in the game that incentivizes it. So this is where I think, and obviously this is where people are going to disagree with me, but having combat events like this with weekly leaderboards, with zero rewards tied to those leaderboards, but just to have a weekly leaderboard would be so much cooler, because you can then start seeing, aha, you know, I am someone that can play in the top 50 of the server, or relative to where the other people are on the server, I'm doing not too bad. This is my score, this is how I can improve. That to me is just way more fun. It just gives way more replayability when you've got something to aim for. That's actually really what all of this comes down to. In any case, I've had a ton of fun in this event. As you can see here, I'm trying different floors, different teams and so on. And funnily enough, despite the fact that someone like Nahida is really good at applying Dendro, when it comes to waves and waves and waves of enemies like this, you really want to use the DMC Traveler. Dendro main character. Oh, well, okay, I messed that up. You want to use the Traveler because you just get a big lamp that constantly applies Dendro, whereas obviously if these enemies had much higher health pools and it took you longer than 5 seconds to kill them, then yeah, then that's where you might want to then swap back to Nahida. And as you can see, just a simple example like that shows you how you can design a stage to highlight like the potential of someone like Nahida, but also very quickly you can then highlight the potential of another character like the Dendro Traveler. In any case, that's what I have to say. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little bit of fun background footage. One of the things that I've noticed is that your fingers eventually start tending to slip and you can easily get confused as to where you are in your rotations and stuff, but for me that just makes events like this all the more fun. Alright guys, let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching.